When it comes to treatment of concussion, we used to think rest until asymptomatic. In other words, you stay in bed, you stay at home until all your symptoms have resolved. And we found over time that that really wasn't the best approach. And really it came back to the rehab model, which is an active rehab model. When we think about those individuals who have moderate to severe brain injury and they come in for acute rehab, PT, OT, speech, neuropsych, all the services get them up and going. So why would we look at concussion differently? Start that person in an active recovery. That exercise, being active, reading, going on the computer, going to school is not necessarily going to adversely impact the recovery. You have to monitor if symptoms are exacerbated by this situation. And so you do it in a moderate format. But now we know that somewhere between 24 and 48 hours post-injury, rest. Don't tax the brain. Don't do what you normally do. Ensure that you get sleep. That's probably the most critical element to recovery, is to get restful sleep. But then by hour 48 to hour 72, get up and move. Get up and go back to school or to your work environment, or start exercise aerobically in a way that gets blood flow going back to the brain. So the most important thing is to get on a regimented program that is structured in nature, but looks at symptoms and make sure that symptoms aren't worsened by the exercise that they're engaging in. So the key point is being a very detailed evaluation that's going to look to determine, do I need vestibular therapy? Do I need visual ocular therapy because something's happened to my eyes? Nowadays I ask somebody, well, if you have physical symptoms, if you have vestibular, if you have problems with your eyes, if you have a headache, if you have balance problems, well, you're also going to have cognitive problems because these physical symptoms are interfering with the cognitive. And so we want to target those physical symptoms as quickly as possible, which is how things have shifted in the last 4 to 5 years in how we treat concussions in a more active manner. With regard to vestibular therapy, inside the inner ear are the crystals in the vestibular organ, and really they help with balance, equilibrium, our ability to not get dizzy, to not have vertigo. When you work on the brain and you get the head moving and tilting in various directions, you're working to realign those crystals that have been hurt. Now, not every athlete is going to need vestibular therapy. Not every athlete's going to need to have those crystals realigned. But if those suspected athletes do have a vestibular issue, the purpose is to realign those crystals. The BIT system, the Bioness Integrated Therapy System, is really aimed to have the brain become quite quick in its response from a cognitive standpoint, from a language standpoint, and from a motoric standpoint. To train the brain and to target those symptoms so that the brain can respond to the various challenges that it has to face when engaging its environment. Because we know that one of the hardest things for the brain to have to do post-injury is process information. We're not always able to say, I'm going to work at 50 miles an hour, because the situation around us changes. So the BIT system aims to retrain us, to get us to be more aware so that we can handle the varying frequency changes in our daily environment.